So you've just joined Perfect Entry. I'm going to show you how you can get running and trading accurately and profitably within 5 minutes. Now, there is a small caveat to that, and I will get into that later in the video. So the first things first, you've just joined Perfect Entry. Well, you're probably going to be wanting to use piphunter freeze. Piphunter freeze is our latest indicator, and it's also a full method pre-coded. But before you do, you're going to want to add the strategy tester. Now the strategy tester is a tool for you to play with that's going to let you be and find the most accurate and profitable version of yourself. Now the first things first is you're probably going to want to set the time of day you want to trade. Now this is going to be personal to you. Do you trade at 6 in the morning? Do you trade at 9 in the afternoon? You need to know when you're trading, and I'm going to suggest, in this case I'm just going to give it a setting. We're going to say that it's going to trade from 1300, which for me is New York session, all the way up to, I don't know, 1900, which will be the end of the day New York session. We're then going to change this to percentage of equity. Now, it doesn't calculate its lot sizes properly, so in this case I'm actually going to put it to like 20%, and I'll show you what actually its size is in a moment. Pyramiding is something that might be useful to you. Pyramiding is the amount of consecutive orders without a take profit or stop loss being hit. So for instance, if these 3 buy orders here, none of them hit stop loss or take profit, you would pyramiding allows you to enter all 3. So if pyramiding is something you want, then feel free to add pyramiding, and you can control the amount of orders you want to add. And then you can also look at your trail stops and things like that. Now the important things to note, obviously we've already pre-selected our hours. In this case I've selected quite a wide margin for error. But your important numbers are net, the graph shape I find relatively important, the percent profitable not so much because the profit factor will carry that into it. So the first thing first, I'm going to set a 0 trail stop. This means that it just hits take profit when it gets to the take profit point. The trail stop distance is where it would hit the green line and activate trail stop, which is however far in distance you give it. So in this case I'm just turning the trail stop distance off. Then you've got the core, which is the freebie method that I posted a couple of months ago. That is the core to this method, and I'm just going to put in some random settings. The way to really go and dive in is that you will kind of want to pick one item first, so I'm going to start by turning this to 3.5. In fact, I'm going to make it 4.5, so it's a 3-to-1 trade, risk to reward. And then we can start going in and playing with numbers. So I would normally start on a relatively known number, and you just tick a couple, doesn't work, tick a couple, and you will get to a point where you will find that that was an optimal number, and you just go back to it and then move on to the next value. So you can see that I'm just rapidly clicking through, adding 2 at a time, just to see if we can get to a reasonably high number. And sometimes there is another approach to this, and I will explain that in one moment. That seems like the highest I've seen yet. So we're again just going through, and we're just going to scroll up through very quickly, see if we can find something that's useful. And you can see that lots of these are losing combinations, but it's very, very easy to find yourself into a winning combination. I'm going to leave that there for now. We'll just put another number in, I know, 8. And we'll set this to 14 maybe. And the game is literally, sometimes you can go through and just put in a random string of numbers, see what the result is and do it that way. Or you can go through and be very scientific about it and be like, right, these are what I'm putting in, and be very careful on how you choose your numbers. So I'm going to put in a setting that I think might work. I don't know if it works on this pair, but I'm going to try it. And I'm going to put this to 3.5, and we'll put this to, I don't know, 0300. Okay, so for this pair it doesn't work, but I'm going to quickly chuck it to a pair that I know does work for this method. Go to the 2 hour or the 1 hour, because we want to see this nice curve. So what I'm looking for when I'm sitting and altering pairs is I want the profit factor to be the highest possible number. And percent profitable, you do want it to be a good number. Obviously, you can work out what the break-even point is, and in this case 30.3 would be for that stop loss and take profit. 30.3 or somewhere around there would probably be about break-even. So to see 36 is a statistical non-anomaly, like it's statistically interesting. And then net profit versus max drawdown is something I look at, so I do like to see the ratio of the two. And the way I look at it is going, well, this is, in this case, what, almost 8 times bigger, maybe 6 times if you were to look at it accurately. And then the other things to note would be, if you go into performance summary, you can look for the average losing trade, see what the value of that is, and then see what your test balance was. I think I tested on 1 million. Then you can go and open a calculator, which I've got on my phone right here, and see, so the average losing trade was 553, divide that by 1 million, and then we can see what percentage of the account each trade was taken, which for us was way too low. So we're going to bump it up. I'm just going to mark it down as 80. Again, we're going to find the average losing trade in value, which was 2,500. So 2,527 divided by 1 million was 0.25% times 100. That's just me. Yeah, 0.25%, which is about where I'd be looking at trading for a prop firm. So now you've got the correct order value size, we can then go and see what was your max drawdown. So your max drawdown over the course of years, and this is in years at this point, with over 600 trades, was 5%, but your max gain was 36%. If we can, we'll give it a fixed number, so we'll go into the deep testing mode, which is something only available for TradingView Premium at the moment. And you can see that the peak drawdown over 21 years was 13.1%, and our total gain was almost 200%. Again, this was just using the performance summary to go and see what our average losing trade was costing, and then back calculating what that was as a percentage so that we could go get an accurate number. And then once you have your pairs, and again, this method isn't going to work for every pair. So if I go through and click, you'll see that some pairs it's going to be wildly unprofitable. This one, it is profitable in theory, but I probably wouldn't trade it because it's very linear. It's like a straight line, where I like seeing the gradual arcs upwards. This one is again not profitable, but we can go through and find pairs which are, or we can go and refine settings. So we can see that in this case this one was incredibly profitable, but we would have to be dropping our lot size down. Our lot size in this case was too high because we had 27.8% drawdown, although in theory we would have standard to make 1,100%. But again, we can then get a handful of maybe 5-6 pairs, and then you can go, right, this is the setting I want to trade with, these are the pairs I want to trade during these hours. And then all you do is you keep freeze strategy tester on your chart for a second. You're going to grab the actual freeze. Now you've got the actual freeze, you would copy your settings in. So in this case it was 30, 25, 27, 7, and then 1.5, 3.5. And now you have that, you can go and get rid of your strategy tester, and then every time you get a signal that is within your trading hours, you'll be able to go and take that, and you know that statistically you will be right. If you think you're going to be away, what you can do is if you put it to once per bar close, for a long, you'll set one for a long trade and one for a short trade. On each pair, you would put once per bar close. This will tell you the interval, what you're physically trading, the close price and the time. If you want to add your stop loss in, you would go curly brackets, curly brackets, plot 03, close the curly brackets, and then if you want the T8 profit price, you would go plot 02, again within the curly brackets, and then click create, and you will have made yourself an alert. And if I show you an example of some of the alerts that I had made, you can see that I'd got a stop loss price plot 3, take profit on plot 2. You can see that it's got your interval, what it is, your ticker, the close price, your 2 stop and take profit points, and the time. And that is all you need. So that's how you can trade freeze just on its own and get it tested all within 5 minutes. This video won't have been 5 minutes, but you can test it and be ready probably within 5 minutes, but certainly within an hour. As for your actual trading time can be very low because you can just set alerts. Also, if you do want to just get up and going, we do have the spreadsheet which has these as default settings. Everything that is green is very much tradable, except where we put but don't, and again that is from where you've got charts which were flatlining or which were negative for a long period of time and then only recently ticked up. So you can see what pairs are profitable throughout the day and on what times, and again there was your settings. But this is all available in the Discord, just click the link in the description below, and other than that I will see you all in the next video.